Right. Okay, yeah, so I think we're live now. Um, Welcome back to another quarantine live stream. Um, like I said before, this is an impromptu thing. I'm not really planning these out per se. There's no schedule behind these. I'm just kind of doing these on a whim and seeing just I mean, if anybody is just out there bored out of their mind like I am, and just wanting to talk and chat about movies, games, collectibles, whatever. But yeah, so hey, Scott, this is first. What's up, man? What's up, man? How's it going? But yeah, I mean, this is gonna be a semi-regular thing. I'm gonna try to do these anyway because I know a lot of people, are out there just kind of again, just sitting at home, bored out of their minds. Hey, Movie Master Marco, I'm back. AK Master, hey, CinemaDeviant, what's up, guys? Good to see you guys again. I'm glad that you guys are joining back in from yesterday. We had a great talk yesterday. Great chat with all you guys. Marco says, "How you holding up?" I'm doing pretty good. Again, with everything, the circumstances going on, I'm doing fairly well. Just trying to keep myself busy. Scott says, "Good. I'm playing video games. Horizon Zero Dawn. Ooh, hell yeah, that is a great game." Oscar Legend, sup? Loved your buyer's guide. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Oscar. Appreciate it. I love doing them. I love doing the buyer's guides. Sometimes they can get a little um, trying at times, just because sometimes a lot of things come out right at the same time, and everybody's asking for a buyer's guide for this, buyer's guide for that. But I enjoy doing them. That's why I keep doing them. Hey, what's up, Gavin? Ireland, correct? You're from Ireland? What's up? What time is it over there? If you don't mind me asking. Yeah, man. I mean, this is it's. I had a great time doing this yesterday. This was really fun. Like uh, after we went off, off of being live, I went downstairs and my wife was like, "Man, you seem like really pumped and like amped up." I'm like, "Yeah, it's these guys. These guys got me all amped up, man." 9 p.m. Oh wow. Hell yeah, cool. That's kind of nuts. I'm glad I'm not interfering in. Hopefully I'm not interfering in anything in in your usual life right now. Um, have Marco says, have I seen the new Clone Wars episodes? No, but that is on my list of things to watch. I love the Clone Wars. I got a little, I guess, sidetracked with like Rebels at some point, so I have to like almost pretty much rewatch the majority of Rebels and Clone Wars. So I'm excited to check out the rest of Clone Wars though. Shona, boom, I'm back. Good, awesome. I'm glad you don't have a Zoom call, a Zoom meeting or something that you have to do right now. Joe, hey Dave, glad you're back. Glad to be back, and thanks Joe for the link for Vinegar Syndrome for that rad lenticular release. That looks amazing. I'm not lying. It looks really good. That's probably one of the best editions of that movie that I've seen so far. So yeah. Hey, movie hunter, what's up, man? This is Gavin says, no, I literally have nothing to do right now since I went into quarantine. Fantastic. I'm glad at least to kind of give you a little bit of entertainment or just, just here to just hang out and shoot the we say shoot the shit. I don't know if you guys say that at all. Marco says, how would you rank all these Spidey movies? Ooh, that's okay. All right, so I'll go from bottom to top. I think I have to get my paper out. All right, so I'll say Spider-Man 3, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 3, Amazing Spider-Man 2, Amazing Spider-Man 1. Then I would, oh crap. Okay, hold on. Then I would say Spider-Man. Ooh, this is hard. This really is hard. Um, then I would say maybe Spider-Man: Far From Home. I would say great movie again, but I think it's one of the weaker ones. Spider-Man: Homecoming. No, no, I'll change that. Not Spider-Man: Homecoming. I'll say um, Spider-Man 2, which was my favorite Spider-Man for a very long time. Then Spider-Man: Homecoming, and then Spider-Man 1, Tobey Maguire. Just because Spider-Man 1, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, was the one that really started it all, that made us feel like, holy crap, they did Spider-Man, right. So I think, yeah. So Spider-Man 3, Amazing Spider-Man 2, Amazing Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man: Far From Home, Spider-Man 2 with Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man: Homecoming, and then Spider-Man 1. I hate doing these rankings because it gets me all out of whack, but yeah, I would say yeah. Let's see here. Shona 4 manager calls, and now I can listen on everything that has to do with collecting movies in all its glory. Hell yeah! That's what I'm talking about, dude. Mi Park, hey, how are you? I'm good. Mi Park is an OG here. He's been around for a good while since we were doing the live streams, like the podcast and stuff like that. AK Master, have you seen the Clone Wars micro series from 2003 to 2005 by Gendry Tartakovsky? Tartakovsky is the one that did Samurai Jack, right? If I remember correctly, in my opinion, is better than the current Clone Wars series from '08 to 2020. I've seen bits and pieces of it, and I really, really enjoyed it. It was pretty awesome. Joe says, "Hope you order it. Want to see an unboxing of it." I'm definitely gonna order it. Just because it's so unique and something that I have not seen in so many years. I'm talking about Rad. If you guys are just joining in, the movie Rad. It's it's a crazy like BMX BMX movie. It's one of my cheesy favorites that I loved for many years, and I have not seen it in so long. And Vinegar Syndrome is releasing it. If you guys are interested in that, go check them out. Gavin says, Homecoming is my favorite Spider-Man. You see, and this is where I'm like, well, Homecoming is really, really good. I really like it a lot. Everybody involved in that movie, everybody that had to do with that movie was just amazing. Actors, director was amazing. Was it John Watts? I believe. Fantastic. I mean, I thought the Homecoming was fantastic, and that's why it irks me to rank movies sometimes because I'm like, oh, but I really like this one for this, but this one was good here, and then I keep going back and forth. Oh man, Marco says, what about Spider-Verse? Spider-Verse is one of my favorite animated movies of all time. Spider-Man, well, I'll say even Spider-Man movies of all time. So, probably it's up there in the 1 or 2 spot. Spider-Verse. We've seen it so many times. Me and my family, we all love it. I have like a premium edition, the Blue Fans edition of Spider-Verse. We have like this awesome Spider-Verse print, glow-in-the-dark print that I have not put up yet in the house. So yeah, we're big fans of Spider-Verse. Love it. Let's see here. To me, AK says, to me, the Spider-Verse, Into the Spider-Verse is the best Spider-Man movie. Yeah, I would have to agree. Yeah, it's probably one of the best, if not the best. The Harvey Paxton Show says, "Hi David, love your videos, mate. Thank you so much. I'm one of those dudes that's very like what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say timid. Timid is not the term. I'm at a loss for words, but I don't like to like blast my stuff out there. I'm horrible at self promoting, and that's probably one thing you guys will probably notice. I am very horrible at self promoting myself, just because I feel like very weird about doing it. I get awkward about doing stuff like that. But so every time somebody says something, to that degree, I love you guys for it. Don't get me wrong. It makes me like, oh, okay, all right, thanks. um, Missed out on Superman Red Sun Steel at Target, and I'm pissed. Show enough said. Yeah, so did I. I totally missed out on it. I have the actual 4K movie here, and I love the movie. I thought it was great. They did change some very serious, darker things than in the book, but I thought it was a fantastic adaptation. Very, very well done. All of DC animated movies are pretty fantastic, and that's the one thing that they excel at the most is doing something like that. I'm hoping that again they do some sort of Infinity Crisis on Infinity. I'm sorry, Crisis on Infinite Earths type of animated movie. That'd be phenomenal if they did something like that. I don't think so, but that would be great. Oscar Legend says, "Do you like Friends or George Lopez better?" I'm as a longtime Friends watcher. I said this yesterday. I like Friends. I really do. I've watched George Lopez like crazy though, being Mexicano and everything. I mean, I gotta watch George Lopez. But yeah, and I enjoy it. I enjoy him and his brand of comedy, very Chicano kind of comedy. But yeah, I think I prefer Friends just a little bit more. Well, a bit more. Let's see. AK says the Clone Wars microseries is actually free on YouTube if you want to see it, and it'll only take you 2 hours to see the entire thing. Oh, fantastic. Okay, cool. Because I've only seen bits and pieces of it. I never really sat down and watched the whole thing through, so that's perfect. Throw a link up if you can. If you can, throw a link up in here in the comments. I'm sure other people would love to check that out as well. Let's see here. Marco says, what are your thoughts on the Raid movies? What is your favorite modern action franchise? The Raid movies are great. I love the Raid movies. They're very fast-paced, action-packed, very boom, boom, boom type of action. I love that kind of stuff. As far as modern action franchise, you really can't qualify it as a franchise, but I'm gonna throw it out there anyway. Crank was very fast-paced as well. And the guys that directed it, I cannot remember their names right off the top of my head, but it was two guys that directed it. They did phenomenal work with the fast-paced stuff and keeping the story rolling as the action is rolling as well. My favorite though, franchise-wise, is John Wick. John Wick has not disappointed me at all, going from movie to movie. And I love the fact that literally you could sit down, and which I did when the most recent one came out, was I sat down and watched them all from the beginning, and they all blend together perfectly. You know how sometimes in between movies I'll be like, oh, 2 weeks later, and the guy looks completely different, or things are out of whack, or 6 months later and he's on some island, something like that. No, these are a consecutive line of movies that do not stop, and that's the one thing that I love about the John Wick franchise so far. Yeah. Let's see here. Gary Rangel says, I think Night at the Roxbury needs a Blu-ray release. I could have swore that it's already had a Blu-ray release, but if not, yes, definitely. That's one of the films that me and my buddies used to watch as kids as well. And we used to quote that thing like nobody's business. I used to love, and I still do, but I'm very selective about, or I have to be in a certain mood to watch very slapstick kind of comedy. But I still love it. I love it to this. My son very much loves slapstick comedy. So yeah, definitely. Raid movies are the shit. Hell yeah. Let's see here. Marco, what do you think of Disney's Robin Hood? I hope Disney doesn't ruin the live-action remake and instead do something similar to Rango. Well, I got excited when Robin Hood was announced. I even was yelling. I was here at my desk and yelled downstairs, "Hey, guess what the next live-action Disney movie is going to be?" Because we're big Disney fans in this house. We love Disney. Um, and my wife was like, "What?" And I said, "Robin Hood," and she goes, "Ah, man." I was like, "What are you talking about? I'm excited for it. I'm excited for it." And I used to watch that one as a kid as well, and I've watched it many, many times. Yeah, hopefully they don't make it too realistic like they did the Lion King. That's where that was the only, and it pains me to say that was the only live action Disney movie that I did not like. Um, there was just something missing. Well, there was a lot missing with that movie, and I hope that they don't go down that route. I hope they make it. Yeah, I guess you could say kind of Rango y, or like very animated, but a little bit more realistic, kind of like the way they did with Sonic, or like Detective Pikachu, things like that. Yeah, hopefully something like that. AK says, "Oh, to Gary, the SNL sketches are better." Well, I mean, look, you can say this or that about the sketches because they were doing those week to week. They could come up with new ideas. Once a film is done, it's done, and that's it. But yeah, I mean, I think the sketches are always going to be better, just because again, that's where it originated from. But I like them both equally. See, Harvey Paxton Show says, I'd say Spider-Man 2 is the best Spider-Man film for the characters, and then Into the Spider-Verse I'd put in second for the style and animation. Spider-Man 2, I love Spider-Man 2. And Spider-Man 2 was my favorite Spider-Man movie for a very, very long time, just for the simple fact that I'm a huge Sam Raimi fan. And what he's done with, like, in horror with Evil Dead and Drag Me to Hell and things like that. He has a particular style and you could see that style very, very evidently in the Spider-Man movies. And there was a hint of like horror, Evil Dead-ish horror in Spider-Man 2 that I love so much. The hospital scene is the one I'm talking about. And that scene, whenever we watch Spider-Man 2, I'll make everybody be quiet. Like, look, pay attention while this scene plays out. And everybody's like, "Oh my god, that's horrible." I'm like, "Yeah, but it's great." I mean, it's just one of those things that excites me, as a moviegoer, movie watcher. Um, let's see here. John Wick right now is the best action series currently. Show enough said. I agree. I think so. I think so. I gotta agree with you. It's a fantastic series. Gavin O'Toole, The Last Mission Impossible was really good. Yes, it was. And that one I will rewatch constantly as well. Henry Cavill was fantastic in it. The only thing that irks me about that movie is that because Henry Cavill was in it, we got the CG Superman, CG no mustache Superman in Justice League, which looked really awkward. So every time I watch that Mission Impossible Fallout, I always think of the CG upper lip of Superman. Something fell. Okay. Let's see here. The first two SpongeBob movies need to get 4K released. Says Oscar. Sure, why not? I actually enjoy the SpongeBob movies quite a bit. Um, I would say maybe you could be onto something with the new SpongeBob movie coming out at some point in the near future. Maybe they will. Who knows? Which show on Fox do you like more, The Simpsons or Malcolm in the Middle? I'm gonna have to go with Simpsons. Simpsons I watched like pretty much almost from the beginning when they first started. I dropped off in later seasons, like in the more recent seasons. Last I would say 5 years or so, I've kind of dropped off. I've seen a couple of episodes here and there, but Simpsons has always been my go-to. I love Malcolm in the Middle though. That is also another one of those shows that if it's on and I catch it, I'm not seeking it out, but if I catch it, I'll definitely watch an episode or two if they're having like a little mini marathon or something. Let's see here. What else? Joe says my girlfriend is excited for the live action Bambi. She has 57 different releases of Bambi from all around the world, all brand new. That again is impressive. Fantastic. Us here in the house, we're excited for anything Disney, anything that gets released or announced. I'm like, oh man, okay, cool. Like we got to see this, or we got to get this, or we got to do this, and everybody in the house is fairly on board. I think when it gets to my Marvel obsession about certain releases, that's when my wife's kind of like, really, David, like really, you got to get that. I'm like, yes, I do. So I try to be kind of conservative on what I get sometimes, but yeah, definitely, anything Disney is great. I 57 is pretty impressive. I would like to see a picture of that. If you guys can maybe post, or at least even just a few, a good chunk of them. That'd be amazing to see. Awesome. Let's see. Marco says favorite Guillermo del Toro film. Do you think there is a chance we might ever see a Hellboy 3? At this point, no, I don't think so. Favorite del Toro film? Man, I'd have to probably go with Pan's Labyrinth. That's a really great film. That one or Crimson Peak, just because how just the aesthetic of it, of both of them. But I think Pan's Labyrinth has me more so. Let's see here. What do you think of the Hellboy movies? I like number 1, love number 2. So do I. One of my favorite movies ever, and I watched about 15 minutes of the one that came out last year before, and I turned it off. Well, okay. I actually enjoyed the Hellboy remake. I gave it a shot, knowing that I loved Del Toro's Hellboy, previously. And I gave it a shot, and I actually had a good time watching it. It wasn't what we would love as Hellboy fans, but I thought it was good. I thought it was entertaining. It did what it managed to do. There was a nice little sneak peek at the end of Abe Sapien, I believe, and I really wish that we would have gotten a sequel to kind of expand more on that. And I just don't think that people gave it a shot. Like it probably should. Like it probably should have had, and I think probably in the next couple of years, I think people will start giving it another chance, and maybe we might see a resurgence. I don't know. Let's see here. What's your favorite Neo? What's your favorite Neo Western? For me, it's a tie between Logan and No Country for Old Men. Yeah, I think. I love Logan. I love Logan like forever. It's a fantastic, well done Wolverine movie, X-Men movie all around. It is beautiful. And No Country for Old Men like kind of blew my mind when I first watched it. So I think I'm gonna have to go with No Country for Old Men. Even me being this huge Marvel fan and all this stuff, I got to go for No Country. Let's see here. Oscar Legend says, which is better, the first SpongeBob movie or the first Rugrats movie? I've seen both. I'm going to have to go with SpongeBob. Yes. Let's see. Thoughts on the old Blade? And are you looking forward to the reboot? It says Moises. Yeah, I love the old Blade movie. The first Blade movie was fantastic. I even loved part 2. Part 2 was a fantastic Del Toro film as well. 3, I still enjoy 3. I enjoy 3 quite a bit just because it has Ryan Reynolds and it's a campy-ish type of movie. I love the original. Still to this day, I will rewatch it like nobody's business. The reboot, I am awaiting the reboot like crazy. I think what's his name? Ali. I cannot remember his first name. But I think he's going to do a phenomenal job. He's a great actor. He completely killed it in Moonlight. And I love his body of work. He's a fantastic dude. Let's see here. Let's see. Scott says, I just ordered Dark Phoenix for my collection. Yeah, I have Dark Phoenix. I ordered the Steelbook. when it came out, and even though I enjoyed the movie for what it was, not a perfect X-Men film by far, but yeah, I had to have it for the collection as well. Um, let's see here. Falcon B says, "Have you been watching the new season of Clone Wars?" No, I haven't. I haven't. I answered that a little earlier. No, I haven't yet. That's on my list of things to watch. I need to backtrack quite a bit though to kind of catch up and go straight into this other season. But I intend to do that very soon. Are you excited? Let's see here. Marco says, "Are you excited for the J.J. Abrams Justice League Dark series on HBO Max?" Yes, I am. I love Justice League Dark. I love everything about that team, just because it's very, again, supernatural based, very creature feature esque. I love the animated film that they had. I thought that was very well done. Even the Constantine film that they did, I love Constantine. Period. Even the Keanu Reeves Constantine, he needs to make a comeback. I think there was rumblings that he was supposed to come back for another movie at some point. But yeah, I'm very excited for that show. Hopefully they do it right and give us some good Justice League Dark content. Let's see here. What's your favorite Rockstar game? Says Oscar Legend. Mine is GTA 4. Rockstar, I want to say it's probably gonna have to be the Red Dead Redemption. I really love the well, I guess you could say it's the second one because it was Red Dead Revolver, and then Red Dead Redemption, then Red Dead Redemption 2. I have yet to play fully through Red Dead Redemption 2, but I really love Part 1 quite a bit. And then they had the zombie DLC, the Undead Nightmare. Man, I played that endlessly. I love that game. Let's see here. J4362 says, "Hi, I was just watching yesterday's video. Love your vids. What's your favorite Western or spaghetti Western?" It's hard to really pick a good Western movie. I love, I guess, semi-modern Westerns. I love Unforgiven, Tombstone, things like that. Young Guns are kind of like action Westerns. As far as spaghetti Westerns go, anything Sergio Leone is fantastic, phenomenal. I love it. Let's see. Gavin says, "Have you seen Train Spotting by Danny Boyle?" I think I just passed it up. Hold on. Have you seen Train Spotting by Danny Boyle? It's another one of my top 10 favorite movies. It's so unique and has a great style to it. Highly recommend it if anyone has not seen it. And that's by Gavin O'Toole. Yes, Train Spotting is fantastic. I love Danny Boyle. Anything Danny Boyle does is phenomenal to me. I will watch it, especially like 28 days later, 28 weeks later, things like that. Train Spotting was one of those movies that I remember coming across because I just heard someone talking about it, that it was a good movie. Didn't even know what it was about, and I was blown away by it. Fantastic. Love it. Scott says, "Did you hear the news that Sam Raimi is the new director for Doctor Strange?" Yeah, that was kind of like a rumor for a while now. And I was already like, okay, if it's a rumor, more than likely this is gonna be fact. I think it's a good pick, and especially if they're trying to go like a little bit of the weird or horror route, Sam Raimi's perfect to do it. I just, I hope that they, and which I'm pretty sure that they will. It's Marvel Studios. It's not Sony. That they'll give him, full creative control, at least to a certain extent, anyway, to put his vision on film. Let's see here. Marco says, also Barry with Bill Hader on HBO is one of the greatest shows currently on TV. Yeah, I've heard that as well. And I actually have a couple of seasons. I think it's like the first and second season, I believe, of Barry digital, and I have not seen a single episode yet. I need to watch it at some point because I've been hearing great things about it. I love Bill Hader; it's fantastic. Harry Paxton Show says, "I have the opinion that the MCU should have ended after Endgame because it felt so perfect with Tony's sacrifice and the person that started it all." Dying for the greater good. Do you agree? Yes and no. I think what they were trying to do was end, which they did. They ended this story arc that they had worked on for 22, I believe 22 films, something like that. So there is a definite end to it. Now there are little story elements that are going to be, pulled from there that are going to leak over into the other phases moving forward. But we're going to see a completely new dynamic with the MCU movies. I think either something a lot more cosmic, or something having to do a lot more with the multiverse. That's what I love multiverse stuff, so I'm hoping that they do something with the multiverse. Something I've been seeing some rumors about Kang the Conqueror being the new like big bad, being the new like Thanos-ish guy in the MCU, which I'm very excited for. I mean, if you don't know who Kang the Conqueror is, I urge you to look him up. His story is very, very interesting. And then also, I heard something about like Norman Osborn possibly popping in there and being like a sub bad guy, almost like a Loki to what Loki was to Thanos. Norman Osborn would be to like Kang at some point. So I don't know. I've seen a lot of stuff, but I'm very optimistic about it. And I talk with my hands a lot. I'm sorry. Let's see here. What else here? Austin says, "What's your favorite new comedy movie?" That's a tough one. I haven't seen a really good comedy in a while. Um, Comedy. I'm trying to think. I love the Jumanji movies. The Jumanji movies but that's not like a straight comedy. It's more like an action comedy. I don't know. Throw some out there to me. Like what are some of your favorite ones? And maybe I could jog my mind a little bit. Aaron Johnson says, "I saw both the Rugrats and SpongeBob movies. They are quite enjoyable. My favorite characters are both of both are Spike on Rugrats Go Wild and SpongeBob on SpongeBob SquarePants movie. I also enjoy Mr. Krabs. Yeah, you see all those characters. They're classic characters. I love them all. Fantastic. Let's see here. To do." Gary asks, oh, okay. Gary asked the $1 million question. Do you watch The Walking Dead or own any of them? Show has been so darn good. I love The Walking Dead. That is one of my favorite series of all time, just because I'm a big zombie lover. I love zombie movies, and I was just talking about this the other day with my wife, because as right now, I'm rewatching The Walking Dead. I'm on like season 5, episode 9, I believe, and it's one of those shows that I always wanted as a kid. I love zombie movies, and to have a show where it just continues, after, like say after the credits roll of a movie, we have what's going on with them and where are they going and how are they dealing with this, things like that. So that's what had me intrigued from day one. I love the comics as well. And yeah, so I've been a steady watcher since the first episode premiered on Halloween, in I don't know 2000, I think it was, or something like that, 2010. I think it might have been 2010. Yeah, that's one of those shows I will rewatch to this day just to see the little nuances, little things, and story arcs that maybe I might have not caught the first time around. I love it. I can't wait for the future. The Rick movies are going to be fantastic. Yeah. Show Enough says The Man with No Name. Oh, yes. Fantastic. Top 5 zombie movies. Movie Master Marco says. In no particular order. Dawn of the Dead. Day of the Dead. Dawn of the Dead remake. I really enjoyed quite a bit. Land of the Dead I really loved. And I'm trying to think. Well, I think it has to be more than 5 because I really love them all. Return of the Living Dead 2 is one of my favorites. But yeah, I guess those are the 5. If I have to say them, right here and now, yeah, those are my favorites. J4362 says recommend The Mercenary if you have not seen it. Franco Nero and Jack Palance. Oh crap! Okay, nice. I love Franco Nero. Uh, I think about like 5 or 6 movies with him, and they're some of my favorite spaghetti westerns. Aaron Johnson, my favorite western is Two Mules for Sister Sarah with Clint Eastwood and Shirley MacLaine. It does have some feel good elements in between the action violence parts. Okay, cool. I gotta check that out then. Two Mules for Sister Sarah. All right. See, here we go. Here we go. The rankings. Oscar says you should do a ranking on all Marvel and DC movies in one long video. That is very hard for me to do. I've already expressed my I guess I don't want to say disdain, but the trouble that I have with ranking movies. Just because I start going back and forth and I start rambling, as you can probably tell, I tend to talk a lot sometimes, and we'll probably end up having like a 3-hour video or something. AK Master says, since you're a wrestling fan, do you have the WWE Network? Yes, I do. I've had it since day one, since it launched. Since it was kind of weird and buggy. And yeah, I love it. I love watching all the documentaries on there. Some of the documentaries are my favorites, my favorite things to watch, or like the WWE Chronicle or the 24, I think WWE 24 and stuff like that. And then I love showing my son like some of the older pay-per-views and stuff, even the WCW stuff. Because back in the Monday Night Wars, I used to flip the channel a lot. Like I was WCW and WWF back in the day, and yeah, that was one of my favorite things to watch was Nitro. And then when Nitro would go to a commercial, I'd go to Raw, and when Raw would go to commercial, I'd go to Nitro. Gavin O'Toole says, I'm glad they didn't end the MCU. So many great movies to come from Marvel. I hope all the Phase 4 movies get released on Blu-ray. Oh yeah, they will definitely. I'm kind of upset that they did the Infinity Saga set the way that they did. I was honestly, I was gonna get it. I was gonna drop the $500 to get it. And then I kept going back and forth. Literally, my finger was on the order, like submit order. And I just felt like I couldn't justify it. You know, like it was very like it was done in like just the little cardboard cases. I mean, it looks awesome, and people that have it in their collection are probably happy to have it in their collection because now it's probably going for like 1,000, like $1,500 or something like that. But I could not justify it. Like I felt like it was just very much thrown together, and it pained me to not click submit on it. But I'm hoping that they do like a better set at some point. A steelbook set would have been fantastic. I would probably pay $700 for an awesome steelbook set of all the movies. But yeah, I'm sure that they're gonna release all of them, you know, at some point, on 4K or Blu-ray or what have you. Movie Master Marco says, have you seen Fleabag or Killing Eve? Phoebe Waller-Bridge was the writer for both and helped write the new Bond. No, I have not seen either, but I will say that my wife has seen both, and she cannot say enough good things about both of those shows. So if you're saying that, I'm excited for the new Bond film. I'm excited for the new Bond film either way. But if you're saying that she was the writer for the new Bond film, I'm completely stoked. Let's see here. I was wondering if you think in upcoming MCU films, if they should bring back Tony Stark in any way, whether it be in a flashback or of him or just Tony Stark's version of Jarvis. That's where you get like on shaky ground. I know a lot of people want to bring back Tony, you know, but I do feel like that it would not help the films at all if he comes back. In a flashback, fine. Or if it's like a prequel movie, like like they're doing with Black Widow, I think he's supposed to show up in there at some point. Then okay, I understand that. If it's for a full-fledged, like he's coming back, even if it is like Jarvis, I don't know. That might be pushing it a little too much, and it might throw a lot of fans off because of the hugeness of the sacrifice that he did in Endgame. Like that, like cemented the end for Tony Stark right there at that moment, and it made me cry. So if you were just to come back in some weird fashion, it would just kind of crap on what happened in Endgame. I think, So I would say no. As much as I love Robert Downey Jr., I would say no. Let's see here. Who's your favorite? See here. Oh, okay. AK Master says, "Who's your favorite gamer YouTuber?" My favorite is the Angry Video Game Nerd. Yeah, I've watched a little bit of his things. I'm I'm not a huge fan. I've watched a good number of his videos. I tend to watch like people like oh my god, what's his name? Metal Jesus. I used to watch Pixel Game Squad in the past. I think they were Retro Liberty in the past. Those guys are really really cool. Those are the guys that I was like, man, I want to hang out with those guys. um, I used to watch the Game Chasers a lot. I haven't in a while, but yeah, people like that. Who else? Gaming Historian, fantastic, like little mini documentaries. I love the research that he puts into it are phenomenal. Yeah, I mean, there's a good amount. I watch. I still watch uh, oh my god, did you know gaming? The Game Theorist, Game Theory and stuff like that. Yeah, so yeah, those are the kind of like the gaming channels that I watch. I watch a lot of everything. And actually, that's a good segue into what I wanted to ask you guys. Probably the only question that I have to ask you guys: what non-movie YouTube channels do you guys watch? I have a lot of hobbies, a lot of interests, and I wonder, like on a daily, what do you guys watch? I watch a lot of wrestling stuff, like What Culture, wrestling, Cultaholic, Wrestle Talk. Those are kind of like the dailies for me. Good Mythical Morning. I watch Grace Helbig sometimes. She's hilarious. People like that, I tend to watch a lot. Oh, King of Random, Demolition Ranch, Off the Ranch. Since he's a Texas boy. But yeah, I'm wondering what you guys watch. Let me know in the comments. Hunter, glad to see you, man. It's been a while, Hunter. Let's see here. Let's go down. Gavin says, I don't think RDJ will come back to the MCU. 300 million for one person, not worth it in a business sense, in my opinion. Yeah, and like I said, I think his story arc has ran its course. Unfortunately, if they would have taken it a different direction and maybe just injured him severely or something, then I could understand, there being another Iron Man movie or whatever down the road. I just don't think it would be right if they brought him back, Unfortunately. Joe Martinez says, I watch a lot of drum cover videos since I played drums since I was 10 years old. Oh, hell yeah. Those are always fun to watch, too. I love those. My son is very musical, and he has two parents that do not play any sort of instrument at all. So where he got that from, okay, I will say he pretty much got that from my wife's side of the family because my brother-in-law, he's a musical like nerd. He plays everything. But this kid he grasps onto everything. So anything musical, he just wants to look it up on YouTube and things like that. So yeah, I can understand that. Oh, Marco says Casino Royale's 4K release contains an unrated version of the film. Hell yeah, that's cool. I'm gonna have to check that out. Casino Royale was actually one of the first Bond movies that I've seen. I know, blasphemy. Don't hurt me. But I have made it my life's goal to rewatch all of the Bond films from the beginning at some point. I never got the Bond collector set. So I'm gonna try to track that down at some point and see if I can get it for a good price, decent price, and start rewatching all of them. Excuse me. Hunter says, "Freaks and Geeks. Have you seen it?" Yes, I love Freaks and Geeks, and it's very unfortunate it was only one season, and it sucks. But it's an amazing show, amazing comedy, in there. Um, J 4362 Ed Bassmaster. He has some funny videos. I'm gonna have to check him out and see what that's about. Gavin O'Toole says, "I watched some podcasts like Joe Rogan and some pool channels." Ah, you were the pool guy from yesterday. That's why you said that. Yes. By the way, a cool drum channel is Matt McGuire, drummer from Chainsmokers. That dude is a fantastic drummer. I'll say that. I'll give you that. Yes. And Jay Weinberg, the drummer for Slipknot, is insane. Yes. Isn't he the son of Max Weinberg, from Bruce Springsteen's E Street Band, I believe? But yeah, let's see here. It says AK to Shonov says, "I wouldn't feel that bad about not watching WCW in its heyday because it got worse as time went on." Yes, and of course got bought out by McMahon himself. But I would watch it years later, as I said. Yeah, I would agree. Like, don't feel bad about not watching WCW back then, because it was good. Okay, I'm not gonna even say it was good. It was. I look at it as wrestling history. That's the way I look at it. It's like I witnessed that go down, as good or bad as it was in moments, and then seeing the ship kind of just go was also like a historic thing to be like, oh, I was there, I saw that. I saw the Nitro episode when WWE bought WCW, and that kind of blew my mind when I saw it, like, for myself. It was weird. Let's see here. AK says, "Since you watch wrestling YouTubers, have you seen Wrestling with Regret and OSW?" I've seen Wrestling with Regret. He's a really great dude. I think he puts out some really great content. I enjoy his stuff quite a bit. OSW I have not seen. I'm gonna have to check that out. Let's see here. Yeah, Jay is the son of Max Weinberg. Okay, cool. AK says, "I'm a 2000s kid, by the way, so of course I didn't watch wrestling back in the 90s. You got to go back, though. Go back as much as you can. I even went as far back as like the heyday of wrestling, like Deep South wrestling and stuff like that. That's the stuff. It's not as exciting, as the stuff that you see nowadays, or like Mid South, wrestling and stuff like that. It's not as exciting, but it's, again, you're watching history. You're watching stuff. People just kind of evolve and things like that. AWA is another great promotion. I think I have like a bunch of like bootleg AWA, like the whole collection that somebody gave me at some point. And yeah, I tend to pop those in every so often whenever I want to watch some old school stuff that's not on the network. See here. Marco says, "Thoughts on the Watchmen movie, book, and show?" I love the Watchmen movie. Even though it was a lot different, or a bit different than the book itself. The book I've read many times over. I didn't find the movie to be horrible. It's very Zack Snyder. I would say that you can tell his film aesthetic, his cinematic feel. But I had no problem with it. I thought it was good. I enjoyed it quite a bit. The show, I have not really seen the show yet. I saw one episode, so I have to reserve my judgment on the show until I fully watch it, which I will be doing soon. I think they're supposed to be sending me a review copy of the show whenever things get back to normal, I guess. Let's see here. What are some deleted scenes you wish made it into a movie? Now, I had this conversation with my son the other day. And it's funny that I say that because my son is becoming a very big movie aficionado as well. And he came to me and said, sometimes I really like watching deleted scenes. I was like, why? He's like, well, because sometimes there's more stuff to the story in those deleted scenes. And I told him, I was like, well, yeah, yes and no. Depending on the scene itself, you can add like some piece of narrative to a scene, but at the same time, they were deleted for a reason, whether it be pacing or things just didn't line up right. Um, but and then we both agreed that some of the more, I guess the more okay scenes to be added into deleted scenes to be added into a movie are like Marvel scenes, things in Marvel movies that maybe gave a little bit more of the story. I right off the top of my head, one that I remember was, I think, in Age of Ultron, when Thor went off to Asgard to go find out more about the stones, the Infinity Stones. There was a nice sequence where he went into this, like little jacuzzi, looking Asgardian jacuzzi, and he was getting these visions and all this stuff, and it kind of told more about the Infinity Stones. That was one that I felt like should have been in the movie itself. Austin Hack says, "What did you think of the Power Rangers movie? Do you want a second one?" I actually really, as divisive as the fans were with the Power Ranger movie, I thought it was good. I thought it was very entertaining. I do feel like they waited a little too long for them to get in their suits, and have the action going on, and the fighting and all that stuff. I did like it quite a bit, though. I love the actors. I thought the actors were great in their roles. I would love a second one with the cast. It's more than likely not going to happen. Um, just because of now Hasbro owns Power Rangers, everything that is Power Rangers, which is unfortunate. But I think Hasbro's trying to do like a reboot of the Power Rangers, like do another reboot movie with the Power Rangers, and I think we're gonna be seeing like the Zeo Rangers, either that or like Turbo, something like that, something to that degree. I hope that they don't just pop up like, hey, we're Zeo Rangers now. There needs to be a transition with every Power Rangers season, with every Sentai, Japanese Sentai season. There's a transition period into the next group of Rangers. I hopefully we see something like that. Anyway, um, Gavin says, "Are you on Twitter?" Yes, I am on Twitter. I don't use it very much, though. I'm horrible. I'm a bad Twitter user. But yeah, it's at CinemaDeviant. Literally, like, you could type in CinemaDeviant into Google, and you'll see all my social medias and all that stuff. I don't have a TikTok, and I don't think that I'll be getting one. um, let's see here. Okay, this is a great question. Movie Master Marco, do you prefer to be called a movie buff or a cinephile? To me, a cinephile kind of sounds dirty. Yes, it does. And but I don't, honestly, I don't like to be called either. Just like there's some people that are like, oh, you're a movie critic. No, I don't look at myself as a movie critic. I look at myself as a movie watcher. I guess you could say movie reviewer. But even then, it feels like it's a professional title. That you're gonna be held to the utmost, regard because you're a movie reviewer, a movie critic. Um, no, I love movies. I love watching movies. I love talking about movies, and that's kind of like where I leave it. Um, it sounds weird when people call me like a movie critic or a movie reviewer. I just like, no, I love movies and I love talking about them. You know, and I don't like to have a title like that, just because then people are like, well, what you said is gospel because of this, that, and the other. Like, no, everybody has their opinion, and I respect everybody's opinion. You know, I don't know if that answered your question. I'm sorry. Let's see. AK, what do you think of Michael Bay? I personally can't stand his films. I'm split with Michael Bay. I'm okay with certain ones. Like, I like Pain and Gain. Um, but his over the topness is so freaking like crazy sometimes then I'm like, you can't. My eyes start going like this because I can't tell what to concentrate on screen. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess to each their own. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that really, really love his films. I'm kind of like 50-50 on it, to be honest. Let's see here. Marco says, how do you like the Bad Boys movies? Bad Boys 2 is peak Michael Bay. What a crazy film. Yeah, I actually do like the Bad Boys movies quite a bit. I have not seen the newest one, but yes, Bad Boy 2 is definitely that. Yes, it is pretty hilarious. All right, let's see what else. What other questions we got here? We're nearing the end for today. Let's see. Let me see if there's another question or two that I can answer for you guys. Do you watch Hot Ones? Best series on YouTube. Hell yes, I watch Hot Ones. Every time they drop a new video, I believe it's on Thursdays, I think. Every week or every other week or something like that. I'm definitely there to watch it all the way through. Yeah, definitely a great interview show. I've gotten a little tips and tricks from Sean Evans himself, just interview tricks. I have not interviewed anybody in a while, but it's always good to have that in your back pocket just in case, you know. Yes, Hot Ones is great. I love it, man. There's some really fantastic YouTube channels out there. I used to love Epic Mealtime quite a bit as well. They kind of like dropped off, I guess. I hate to say dropped off. I redact that word or that phrase. They started doing other stuff or different things, and I think it kind of got them in a weird place. Red Letter Media. What is that? What is that? It sounds familiar, but I'm not too sure. Austin says, do you plan on doing live streams more often or anything you can tell us? Yes, that is the one thing, especially during this quarantine time that we're going through. And I have a little bit more time on my hands than I normally do. I want to do these more. And I want to try to see if maybe, since I have you guys here, Tuesday, we'll try for Tuesday. Give me a little bit of a break on Monday. And then Tuesday, we'll restart again with another live stream at 3 p.m. Central Time here in Texas. Red Letter Media. I don't know who that is. I'm going to have to check that out. Okay, cool. Oh, the one thing that I used to watch that was very creepy. Sometimes I like to watch like creepy YouTube channels, and that's Hug Me, Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared or something, or Hug Me, I'm Scared. That little like series was so freaking weird. I don't know if you guys have watched it. Yeah, sometimes I tend to watch stuff like that too. I'm just like you guys. Sometimes like I'll click on one thing, and then it'll lead me to something else, and then next thing you know, I'm down the YouTube rabbit hole. But yeah, I hopefully again, we'll be doing more live streams, in the near future and stuff like that. YouTuber user used to be much more creative back then. Oh, okay. But yeah. Anyway, thank you guys so much for checking out this live stream. I appreciate you guys so much, and just the camaraderie that we have right now, and just you hanging out with me hanging out with you guys, and just talking and chatting away about all the stuff that we love. Think of some good questions for me. So when I come back on Tuesday, because I'm gonna be rip roaring ready to go. And I'm thinking, don't hold me on this, but I'm thinking we're gonna be doing maybe like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, like the rest of next week, live streams. But anyway, thank you guys so much again, and we will catch you. Well, not we. There's no we here. I will catch you next time.